my next one in the series here of all the mods is actually kind of a different project for me and for my son, that we ended up doing as close to a original or stock restoration as we could find it in our hearts to do. The particular bike is a 1973 Yamaha TX500. I'll show you the bike here. The story of how we acquired this thing, real short version of it is, we had a guy coming out to our shop here, this is our moto shop, to do some electrical panel upgrades, and he saw all the motorcycles we had in the shop, and he said, hey, I got this bike that I've been sitting around for 25 years. Are you interested? He said, I'd love to sell it. And I said, sure, whatever, we'll take a look. So we took the trailer, that one over there, took the trailer, went and picked up this bike from the guy. He didn't live too far from us, and brought it back through the borescope on it, checked the cylinder compression, checked it all out, and it's actually in pretty decent shape, even after having sat for so long. So I called the guy back. His name is Chris. I said, Chris, you know what? This is actually a really nice bike. I don't want to keep you from selling it. I said, but it's going to be 10 years before I could get to it to work on it. He said, you know what? Why don't you just keep it? And I said, well, what do you mean by just keep it? And he said, well, I'll send you the title. And I was like, really? So this cost me $0. But I figure at this point now with the restoration, I'm probably a good $3,000 in, maybe a little more than that even, not sure. But it's totally worth it. So the short history of this bike, this is a 73 Yamaha TX500. It was the first year that Yamaha came out with this model. It had a 180 crank, a 180 firing order for the cylinders, which was highly unusual back in that day. It had a counter shaft for balancing the engine. There was so much tech, so much innovation that Yamaha put into this particular model that carried forward for years, and I mean for a decade, on future models of this, the XS650, other models that they made. They made a 750 version of this that was not as successful, but this is one of these rare cases where they got it perfect the first time with this 73. Every year after that was just not quite as good or as reliable. And I know that, some people say, oh, well, they have a problem with the cylinder heads cracking. And it's like, well, yeah, that's because people are oftentimes not very good mechanics. You got to check the torque specs on them, and you got to maintain these things. It's an older bike. It's 51 years old at this point, and it needs a little love and care. So what we did do was we kept the frame intact. We didn't even paint it. We didn't touch up. You can see a few spots here and there that have surface rust, and it's like, who cares? Let's keep it a survivor bike. These have the fading to them. You'll notice on the tank, because it had been sitting, there was some gas that spilled out that caused the tank to discolor here. I kind of look at it as, it gave it its own unique patina, so we kept that as is. We've done almost nothing to the motor. I'm gonna just say it was so clean and so nice. I mean, this thing barely has any miles on it. It's 16,000, which I guess you could say is a lot for a bike of this era, but surprisingly it's pretty nice. And the biggest changes that we made, again, you all know I'm a fan of letting bikes breathe, is we got larger Mikuni carbs, and we had to go with a much larger size than the original stock, and I'll put a link in the description of kind of what we did there. And we're still in the process of kind of adjusting the jets on that to get it to fit the engine performance, so it's running a tad rich still. And then we put velocity stacks back here, got rid of the original airbox, so you've got a lot of open space under the seat back here. But this allows it to breathe better, puts a little bit more fuel into the engine, keeps it running cooler. all of those are really good things when you're dealing with an older engine. So it breathes better. The other thing we did as far as the exit or the exhaust, so the original exhaust, and you've already heard the exhaust note on these, the original exhaust actually came out about that much longer. They had kind of this weird reduction and then like a flare or flange at the end. I put on these instead. The originals were just so badly rusted all the way through the underside here. You know, it would have been impossible to restore. You would have had to do so much welding to get them to work. But these are an aftermarket, kind of that, I guess you could say it's sort of in the look of the original Daytona models and that kind of idea. The headers are stock, so they've got a nice patina and coloration that it's earned over time with heat. The engine is actually very, very sweet. I would say, I think it's originally rated at about 48 horsepower. I'm sure it's lost some, but not a lot. So that's kind of really the extent of the mods that we've made to this. You know, some obviously upgrades to the electrical, things just to make it run better, but not a lot significantly beyond that. One thing we did, again, it's cosmetic, but it makes a big difference, is this chain guard. This may seem like a small thing. It's just basically metal and painted flat black. It looked like crap, actually. And I took this, we have a blast cabinet here in our shop that I blasted it down to raw metal and took it to a plating shop over in St. Paul and had him chrome it and do a really nice job. And I think it makes all the difference in the world. We put on new shocks, really had to clean and work to restore the chrome. You can see there's still, you know, some surface things, but it's like, you know, that's minor compared to all of the things that could be cosmetically done to this bike. One thing we did do is we took the spokes out of both wheels and had a local shop here rebuild these with all new spokes. We cleaned up the hubs, put in new brakes. It's drum brakes in the rear, disc in the front. Put in new, you know, basically updated, totally replaced the brakes. They were long overdue. Kept the rims. They are in great shape. So didn't do anything significant other than having the wheels completely relaced. That was probably one of the bigger expenses we had. This one I put on some Avon tires on it. What are they? The Road? Yeah, the Road Rider tires. They're not radials, but they have a sort of a similar profile to these over here on my RD, these Continental Conti Attack radials. But I thought Avons would be more fitting for this bike as a restoration versus a resto mod. Let's see. What's nice on this is kickstart works great. The electric start works great. We cleaned up again all the chrome everywhere. We didn't even, I don't think we even replaced the springs. We obviously, you know, refilled the fork oil and all that stuff. Right now, I'm going to say the only challenge that this bike still has is the front brake is a little bit soft. I think I need to do some more work on that. I chose to go with this approach with this line, a single line all the way down to the calipers. When I was looking at the stock one that was on here, you had a soft line, a hard line, the pressure sensor down here, then you had another soft line, and then a split, and then a hard line. So you had basically 8 points of failure, which, you know, I get it, that's the way they were designing them back in the day. So this isn't true to, you know, I guess a restorationist dream. I'd probably get dinged on it by someone that's anal retentive about restoring motorcycles. But again, it's one of those, I don't care. The brakes work, they work well. Both the TAC and the Speedo are a little bit questionable at times. I think they both need to be taken apart and rebuilt. Not sure if I care that much to do that, but all the other lights work and everything. I think we put on new controls on here and here. a new master cylinder for the front disc, obviously new grips. The mirrors are from Yamaha, but also, you know, kind of appropriate to the era. And then the only other change I made, that I guess you could say is cosmetic, is I decided, because these were pretty tough shape on the badges on the tank, that I filled in the Yamaha letters with black instead of the original white, because I felt like, you know, black just seemed to be a better aesthetic for the coloration on this machine. So surprisingly, even though this was maybe one of the easier builds, I guess you could say, I think it ended up taking us about 8 years before we actually got to it, and then about 4 years before we finished it. I think just maybe 5 years, and not for any reason other than it just, you know, we had other things. Life goes on, work goes on, stuff like that. But this is actually a really, really nice machine. It's, again, it gives you as close to the experience of what you would have had if you were riding this new in 1973. So it's a throwback in time, very little improvement, and it actually is probably one of the nicer machines, I think, that came out of that entire era of the early to mid 70s. Yeah, so a 73 TX500 Yamaha.